Get to know about the latest events at Far East Broadcasting Company Philippines in its mission of communicating the good news of Jesus Christ on air, online, and on the ground. Here is Dan Andrew Cura for The President's Report.
In this time of the year, Christians around the world are observing Holy Week. We commemorate the events that unfolded over 2,000 years ago during the last week of Jesus' life, which culminates with the celebration of his resurrection. Some traditions involve practices like fasting, prayer vigils, and dramatic presentations of the Passion of the Christ, to name a few. But the point of all this is for us to understand how God gave His only Son, Jesus Christ, as the only worthy sacrifice for His plan of redemption for mankind. This is beautifully summed up in Ephesians chapter 2, verses 1 to 5. In the past, you were spiritually dead because of your disobedience and sin. At that time, you followed the world's evil ways. You obeyed the rulers of the spiritual powers in space, the spirit who now controls the people who disobeyed God. Actually, all of us were like them and lived according to our natural desires, doing whatever suited the wishes of our own bodies and minds. In our natural condition, we, like everyone else, were destined to suffer God's anger. But God's mercy is so abundant, and His love for us is so great that while we were spiritually dead, in our disobedience, He brought us to life with Christ. Continuing in verses 8 to 9, "For it is by God's grace that you are saved through faith. It is not the result of your own efforts, but God's gift, so that no one can boast about it." We know why this week is significant for our faith. But sometimes we forget that it is not only for the sake of Christians that the Lord gave His life, but for all sinners. So this Holy Week, let us not only remember, but exercise the self-sacrificial love that Jesus Christ showed us. It doesn't mean we should carry a heavy wooden cross up a hill and be crucified like Him. Nor does it mean depriving ourselves of food and things we enjoy. Rather, it is when we offer our bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God, based on Romans chapter 12, verse 1. Having a healthy body, mind, and spirit makes us better equipped to worship God and serve others. And because God loved us first, we are able to carry out His command to serve one another in love. And we'll read in 1 John chapter 3, verses 16 to 18. This is how we know what love is. Jesus Christ laid down His life for us, and we ought to lay down our lives for our brothers and sisters. If anyone has material possessions and sees a brother or sister in need, but has no pity on them, how can the love of God be in that person? Dear children, let us not love with words or speech, but with action and in truth. As we remember Jesus' pain and suffering, the unfair trial and capital punishment He was subjected to, the violence and mockery He endured, let us remember to pray for the millions of people around the world who are now suffering from injustice, discrimination, and abuse. Let us pray for people in countries that are afflicted by war, economic recession, COVID surges, and other crisis situations. We hold on to the comforting words of Psalm 140, verse 12. "I know the Lord will help those they persecute. He will give justice to the poor." In the Gospels, we see how Jesus was close to those who are suffering. He healed the sick, fed the hungry, talked with outcasts, and defended those who are condemned. By His example, let us ask the Lord for courage and strength so that we may reach out and help those in need. Even in His dying breath, Jesus asked His Father to forgive those who condemned Him. Jesus even comforted the thief who was crucified next to him with the promise that they will be together in paradise. As we reflect on this, let us humble our hearts to ask God for forgiveness. Let us begin to make amends with individuals we have hurt, as well as forgive those who have wronged us. This week, may we seek to honor God and worship His Son, the Prince of Peace, declaring His magnificent work among His people, just as the followers in Jerusalem gave Jesus a joyful welcome on Palm Sunday. Even as we solemnly remember the passion and death of Jesus Christ, we rejoice in His victory over death. Holy Week is not so much about the traditions and not even the things we sacrifice. It is all about God's love and grace that we receive through Jesus Christ. Because of this, we have hope for this life and what comes next. One day, what God began will all come to pass. Until that day comes, we can confidently proclaim the Lord's cry of triumph and victory, "It is finished." On behalf of the staff of Far East Broadcasting Company Philippines, this is your friend Dan Andrew, praying that Jesus Christ will be the center of your Holy Week reflections. As always, do stay safe, and God richly bless you.
You've just heard the President's Report. If you would like to support the work of Far East Broadcasting Company Philippines, please visit our website, donatenow.febc.ph, or email us at info@febc.ph for your questions or suggestions.